thought they'd got nothing. Plane too can be raised, along with £20,000 needed to pay for the second and much more successful lifting attempt.
And finally, one piece of good news from the tragedy in Mexico. Until this morning, a 14-year-old girl at a boarding school in Derbyshire didn't know whether her Mexican mother was alive or dead. Diana Pando asked the Mexican Embassy and the International Red Cross for information, but they couldn't help. The school called in the police and they alerted RAYNET, the Radio Amateurs Emergency Service.
The accurate estimate of deaths, they have said that there are 5,000 people at least injured in Mexico City.
It took them 5 hours to find out from radio amateurs in America and Mexico that Diana's mother was safe. And this morning, Diana was told the good news.
It was a very big relief because I just thought, thanks God.
That's all from the newsroom. From Mark and me, good night.
This week was the deadline for public response to Norman Fowler's radical review of the welfare state, and he'll be in the studio tomorrow to meet some of his critics and to defend his plans. It was also the week when children were kept from school because a haemophiliac boy was found to have AIDS antibodies in his blood, and I'll be asking Mr. Fowler whether the government is yet doing enough to stop a public panic over AIDS. Join me for This Week Next Week tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Hello. Another 2 inches of rain up in the north today, and more to come. I don't suppose you care about the poor farmers in the southeast of England praying for showers to germinate the winter seeds. No, I didn't think you did, but, well, there could be a little rain even there tonight. But most of the rain, again, up over southern Scotland and down into the borders here. Mainly dry in the far north of Scotland, and quite chilly too, with a ground frost in places, but no frost further south. Tomorrow, well, again, the brightest weather in the far north with sunshine and just a few showers. Over most of Scotland, though, and parts of Northern Ireland, rain on and off. Northern and western parts of England and Wales, and later Northern Ireland too. A little rain, but gradually brightening up as time goes on. Then over central and eastern districts of England and Wales, here mostly dry, just a few showers, and here too gradually brightening up as time goes on. And that's where the warmest temperatures are going to be too. 20 is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Much colder in the north, 12 is just 54 degrees Fahrenheit. But let me finish up with a summary of tomorrow's weather. Well, rain at times in the north, as you can see, look bright in the far north. In the south, a little rain and drizzle, but gradually brightening up here as time goes on. But the outlook for Monday and Tuesday is, well, showers in the north and west, mainly dry in the south and east. Good night.
Tomorrow on BBC1, the second part of Number 10 Downing Street.
This is where the staff used to live many, many years ago, but we love it. Yes, we do feel up home here. The only thing is you are always on duty. Anyone can come dashing up and say there's a message just come in, but then you get used to that as well.
Now, Carol's book's being launched
on
Monday morning.
Going to Carol?
Yeah. And on Tuesday, I don't think... Alexandra roses are being sold in the hall downstairs, so we must go down and buy some of those.
Shan't be here.
Oh, dear. Can I start the meeting by asking the Lord President first to let us know how the abolition bill is going in the House of Lords?
Well, Prime Minister, we've got the last 3 days of the committee stage this week, and today we're dealing with the funding of the voluntary organisations.
You've got friends to stay with, have you?
Yeah, we're booked in a hotel, thank you.
Well, it's a very special occasion, isn't it, to come to the truth?
Bye-bye.
Right, goodbye. Goodbye.
Life at Number 10 Downing Street, tomorrow at 9:40 on BBC1.
And now on BBC One, with the first showing on British television, we visit the cabaret world of Gay Paris in the 1930s for a lively musical comedy starring Julie Andrews, James Garner and Robert Preston. Victor, Victoria. Well, there's a showbiz theme again next Saturday in Stir Crazy. Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, as two of New York's finest, if unknown theatrical talents, head west to California for health, wealth and happiness. But problems en route alter their plans and put them behind bars. Stir Crazy at 9:50 next Saturday. This is BBC One. And now to our Saturday movie classic, a new season of acclaimed films introduced each week by Barry Norman.
There are all manner of reasons why tonight's picture, A Matter of Life and Death, is the ideal opening to a season of classic films. In the first place, it's an undoubted classic in that even though it was made nearly 40 years ago, it's as fresh and inventive now as it was then. In the second place, it was written, directed and produced by two of the most talented of all British filmmakers, Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. In the third place, Michael Powell will be 80 this month, so this makes a nice little birthday tribute to him. And in the fourth place, purely as a matter of historical interest, in 1946, A Matter of Life and Death was chosen for the first Royal Command film performance.
It must have been obvious that unprecedented interest would be aroused by this unique event, and many very frank criticisms have been made of the almost chaotic conditions that prevailed in Leicester Square. The picture certainly gives a good idea of what went on as police worked hard. So great was the throng that the arrival of the royal family was delayed, and when they did reach their objective, there was barely room for them to make their way through the crowd into the cinema.
Oddly enough, the Daily Graphic, which is now defunct, and Serve It Right, objected to the choice of the film. Well, quality is not always immediately recognised, although from other newspapers, both here and in America, A Matter of Life and Death received glowing reviews, as did its two stars, David Niven and Kim Hunter. Now, the plot of the film is by no means original. A similar theme was pursued in Here Comes Mr. Jordan, and more recently in Heaven Can Wait. But the manner of the storytelling, the acting, and the overall style of the film are delightful. What is the plot? Hey, come on, I'm not going to tell you that. I hope you'll have the pleasure of discovering it for yourself. And while you're doing so, do observe the way in which the film moves from monochrome to Technicolor, and keep an eye out, well, you can hardly miss it actually, for the magnificent staircase on which Mr. Niven ascends to, well, you'll see, you'll see. In 1946, the magazine Tribune said of A Matter of Life and Death, it's downright good cinema, doing things that couldn't be done in any other medium. And looking at it again all these years later, I can't find anything to disagree with in that. It is, in short, a classic.